with Terence Crawford, who last week in Orlando fought magnificently, showed a masterful performance. Let me ask you this. I'm telling you that, but yet at some point you hear fans on your last two, when you fought Prescott and now this one, that they're actually booing your performances. What do you say to those type of people, fans and critics alike, that want you to open up and fight a little bit more dangerously or on the wild side? Somewhat kind of like what Timothy Bradley did in spurts tonight.
Well, you know, I'm a boxer puncher. You know, that ain't my style to just take unnecessary punishment. You know, I felt I did everything I had to do to win the fight. You know, that was that.
135, 140, those seems like good weight divisions to have a name. Who are you looking at to fight?
Whoever, you know, I'm the type of guy that I don't care who I fight, you know. They pick them, I fight them, you know.
Growing up as a child, what fighters did you emulate? What fighters did you visually see and say, I want to fight like him, or I like his style?
Well, I always like the boxers like Pernell Whitaker, Roy Jones Jr., Floyd Mayweather. You know, those was the type of guys that I used to, you know, try to imitate and take little things from.
Do you find it as a compliment that a lot of people kind of, when they see you, they go like, oh, he kind of looks and fights like Sweepy?
Oh, yeah, it's cool, you know, but I feel like I got my own style in a sense, you know, so I just like to be me.
To the fans who kind of, like I said earlier, kind of like don't understand your style, describe it for us. Describe what you would call your style.
Well, I'm a boxer, counter puncher. You know, I can counter punch you, I can box you up, I can punch hard, you know. It's a lot of varieties that I can do in the ring, and, you know, and I feel like I can display them at any time.
Out of all of those styles, which one are you most comfortable with?
Boxing.
Boxing?
Most definitely.
Tonight, you were here at Bradley Marquez. What did you think of the fight, the scoring, split decision? How did you have it?
Oh, I had Bradley winning, you know, by a large amount. You know, I felt like he was boxing, he was doing what he had to do. He was hurting Marquez on numerous times, you know, and it shouldn't have been a split decision.
What do you think would be next for Bradley? And Marquez being 40, fighting at 147, might be too large for him. What would you advise him to do if you were advising him?
Yeah, I'd rather him go back down to 140. He weighed in at 144, you know what I mean? And that's nothing, you know, to make 4 pounds to go to 140, you know, and Bradley, the sky's the limit.
Speaking of sky's the limit, 2014, you had a very good 2013. What are you looking forward to in 2014? And if you had to pick one person to fight before 2014 ended, who would that be?
Whoever got a title. You know, my main focus on is becoming a world champion. And after that, the sky's the limit. Speaking
of that, there was word that Top Rank, your promotion, sent a contract for Ricky Burns and Eddie Hearns, and they actually turned it down. What do you have to say about that? The champion doesn't even want to fight you, and even you want to even go over there to fight him if you have to.
Right. Well, it's a business move, and eventually they're gonna have to fight me or vacate the title, you know, because I'm the mandatory.
Thanks for your time, Terence.